Country people, Achowe salute. As na sabi and the one undaunted pidgin news, place where tori no the high. Na that's so. Shake shake no day. Na me tori pikin su, aka talk am all. I don't come again, make we mash fire. We go see how it been pass for that side for home front for Sika Palava Country Sunday, and we go hear it to Wakaman Kimbi. He get am for talk for inside the Palava for Amba. Columna City Council for Victoria don green for pay a worker dem 3 months salary after 9 months wey he never pay. 30 years old man pikin so he kill himself for Sika Palava for love. 7 Republic Ekelebe then die for that side for Abana for Bakassi LGA. For number 28 day for inside September moon, na press conference with the chief head boy for IG Masa President Samuel Ikome Sako. And last we big day when na number 1 day for October, now we Independence Day, and it don't reach for corner. Country people, as soon as sabi am and as soon as hear me now, join me, find your own corner. You should not one time. Call some man, me some man, call some man. Here they say tori time, you don't reach with the tori pikin so, and I come man nana so for book the tori in the proper kind of way. I come. Country Sunday, when today the number 25 day inside September month, it passed fine for that side for home front. Me we see how a place is dry store them day lock.
Because normally no, all but they ever buying around.
And then by that, when we come with the dinner cancel, now that for Country Sunday, the people don't decide say and then we then go dinner canal for all Country Sunday there, so that they go relieve their skin there for all kind of stress, for all kind of way. Country people, when I see am, now some people don't decide. Country people, when I don't see am for themselves, now so it pass for that side. We people that don't decide say they go continue for the Nagandamba, so when they go stay for house with their family people them, not tori for know themselves better. We go leave that palava so. For Sika Palava for Ndamba again, Wakaman get tori for broken for we. How it happen for that side for Republic neighbor country for Yaminde. If you hear me now, Wakaman, broke with the tori, me we hear and fine. Ba, 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 ba.
Bana do already no.
Sorry for that error, that technical error. Country people, we go play the one way Wakaman Kimbi, if you don't ready yourself now, we go like for hear you. Thank you plenty Wakaman Kimbi. Country people, I don't talk say we don't already get with government and we don't need you public governor again or ekelebe with country. We ARF, they don't already tell them, say if they get sense, me they surrender them, gun them or anything they can fight with, then they leave we go back for them country small small. If they do so, now the only thing that we go make them, may we leave them, may they go back for the country for suffering. Work people dem for that side for Colonial Republic Council for Victoria comot for outside last Wednesday with a plenty vex for Republic Council for Victoria sika say dem never dey get salary for like 9 months now. Wakaman Kimbi still get tori for open am for we how the palava e pass for that side for Victoria. Wakaman, me we hear you.
My country people them, to for that side for inside Victoria. Now say work people them for Colonial Council for Republic don't start back for work. They may don't strike, deny for work, and they will strike because Republic Victoria Council no will pay their salary for 8 months. Where this worker they don't work, so they tire, they do not pay them money for so take 8 months. So now we big people them for Republic Colonial Council, they don't promise for pay 3 months money for this work. The people there for council, they don't start back their work. Gregory Mewanu, when a Colonial Republic mayor, they call meeting, so that me this worker them for this Republic Council and their patron, she don't talk fine why this strike happen. These people then for Republic Council, they like get answer them for this strike. Now for Thursday, number 21 day for this month. Chairman for this meeting, Vivian Chamberlain Dong, Colonial SDO for Meme County. For this meeting, a found job when a municipal treasurer for the Public City Council for Victoria talk say 9 months salary where they no belong pay these people them. Now debt for former colonial head boy them for this council them where they believe this office. When people then come out check, give chair for that picking them, they keep the picking them and obtain them for chop. But for inside this Republic Council, chop chair the inside carrying and tap them. But that's where the council be talk for this meeting. Say now so they no fit pay 9 months money, say they go pay only 3 months money, no be all workers be glad for this decision. So as we head boy for this worker them, talk say this 3 months money where they pay them so, you no go still do nothing because they don't borrow money for bank and this money go just finish for pay debt and they no go do nothing. But these people them for Colonial Council for Republic, then they go back for their workplace them for say for work, then they wait, say maybe the Republic pay the money where they don't promise them. We just hope say for them will pay that money with the talk am, because to talk am easy, but for do am as on another thing. Na me Wakaman Kimbi, and I dey talk so na for home front for Undaunted Pidgin News.
Thank you plenty, Wakaman Kimbi. Country people, una don hear am. My question now be say, why colonial republic no wan pay salary? We say all we money wey dem dey thief am for we country, where dem dey carry am go? There go me we match fire. Again, inside Victoria, my country people, some countryman kill himself for sika palava love. Some people wey dey there, they see am say this man he write letter, he keep am for there. This man in your palava, they so we no dey understand, because some people dey wey their own palava na only for chop. Some their own problem na money. Any man get his own kind of problem for this life. But this we countryman say your own palava for this world, so na palava love. Wakaman, we no know how it happen. Abeg broke am for we for the proper kind of way how it happen for that side.
My country people them, this one a strong today for that side for Victoria. As we some 30 years old teacher, where they call say Ngum Evis, he end his own life for Thursday, the number 21 day for this month. After we, he don't discover him say he own woman, where he don't marry him, they sleep with his best friend. This one a strong today, my people them. Where, or say where? According to Tori for ground, they enter this my house, say I'm as way the life for ground. When they do investigate, they say I'm say na poison kill this man. He take poison, end his own life. That very morning when Mr. Elvis, the end his own life so, he be send voice for some auntie. Inside this voice message, he tell auntie say, if they say don't die, they them put down for a woman and the best friend, their hand. He discover say, them two they sleep. Where my country people them? Now really which kind of word is now, which kind of thing in this they happen aside now so no. This one a really sad story. My country people them, they lara take the Mr. Elvis, he die body, go with him for Victoria Regional Hospital mortuary. And for the Colonial Republic equilibre them. They don't continue with investigate. This kind of bad thing they happen. With 2 weeks now I don't reach with the celebrate World Suicide Prevention Day for the number 10 day for this month. Team for this day, we been say, creating hope through action. The way people them don't die, they end their own life, don't plenty. As we see at TV, the Public to the House, the talk for their website for 2021. Percentage for people them where they die, where they end their own life for Cameroon, don't climb from 4.9% inside 2022, so they reach 12.2% inside 2019. And a man picking them did mostly kill themselves as women. The WHO, when a World Health Organization, talks that this kind of thing will happen, so people then they take their own life, and the number 4 highest died at where people then they die, where they get age from 15 to 29, which is what 700,000 people them where they take their life every year. Now me, Wakaman Kimbi, and I talk so now for home front for Undaunted Pidgin News.
Thank you, Wakaman Kimbi. Country people, na don hear am all. This week, countryman say, you own palava for this world, so na sika love. Me, I go leave am so. We go enter another story. Abana, wey na former first headquarter for Bakassi LGA, don hot fine for where 7 colonial republic ekelebe dem die sika bomb wey explode for there. Cause Rivers State governor, he comot to for that side of Nigeria, say them hand, he no dey for there. This bumping so, where we never still know whether na suicide bomb or na how e happen o. E happen so na after 3 weeks then way Republic Ekelebe, where dem dey call and say BIR, them sack pro-Biafra militant wing, where dem dey call and say the Black Marines. The Ekelebe, where dem check and say na he carry the bomb, pass na for Abana checkpoint for Friday night, where the explosion it happen. Eyewitness them say na 2 gunboat them, e be chakara for that side, and even 2 Ekelebe them, their hand them, their part them for their skin is spoiled too. Me remember say Colonial Republic Ekelebe them began serious fight, plenty days them with the pro-Biafra militant them for Abana, where them too then they work with the Biafra Nation League. But now Biafra Nation League, they don't deny say them hand again, you know, they inside this palava. So now if them hand no dey, the only person in hand where we know say it go fit be there now we ARF them that side from Zian. Sika say we dey see the Republic people dey like say dem dey trespass na trespass for inside we land. For this past Sunday, big man for Biafra Nation League, Master Princely Chimezie Richard, knack tori people for Calabar for neighbor Nigeria say black marine dem no be use suicide bomb for do that thing dem, except say dem don change dem style now so as we dey talk. For Thursday, wey na 28 day inside the same September so, we get press conference with the chief head boy for IG, Master Samuel Ikomesako. Different kind of tori people, dem go dey there. We president go knack big tori, and the tori people dem too, dem go start to dey ask different question dem. My country people, finally, we Independent Day, e don come back and e don reach for corner. We Independent Day na number 1 day for October, wey na next month wey dey cancel. Country people, make we prepare ourselves fine o. Sika say we go glad plenty and we go celebrate the big day. Any place where you dey, whether na Germany, whether na USA, for America, whether na for outside, make we glad plenty. Make we gather ourselves, we glad for the day. Carry a drummer, carry a chaka, carry anything wey you fit carry am, because say we go glad and we know say na we Southern Cameroon Independence Day. Na dance you go dance, na wetin wey you fit do. Country people, do am na your day. But we go leave that to this, so we go for another one. Country people, this one na advice wey dey comot for that side for ANSC. Country people, una hear am, how dem dey give you this advice, and make una take am for inside una heart. Una hear am.
Fellow Ambazonians, we get a lot of chattering these days from certain individuals. Some of them, they claim say they get positions inside this revolution. And all the chattering, they point towards one thing. They try to talk, say, me, they come together for form a common platform. The question they ask come now, they say, why all this at this particular time? Because at this particular time where they talk, some fighters, where they don't fool and where they listen to them, a lot of them, they drop this time around. A lot of them, they be killed by the enemy, by La Republique du Cameroon. The ANC, under your interim government, where he led Excellency Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako and his vice, Mr. Eric Ake, one time for tell all fighters, I'm not going to talk about the ARS because they already there under the LGAs and counties. If you be a fighter with they out there and you get this revolution at heart, I mean a genuine fighter, then join your LGA. Under your interim government will be headed by His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako. Now the only legitimate body that we Ambazonians they recognize them for fight this struggle, protect the fighters from the wolves and the likes and the proxies where they take the fighters for selling for La Republique du Cameroon. When I take note, La Republique du Cameroon don't infiltrate the fighters. They do so through some of these proxies, their so-called command centers. They don't meet some of them. Some of their so-called fighters, they blend in, and then they come, they masquerade themselves among una. When an agent from La Republique du Cameroon, when they inside meeting houses them with them, they get information from there, relay them to La Republique du Cameroon. And the reason that way the ANC talk say, if you be fighter, we don't say you get this struggle genuinely at heart. Go back, join your LGA. When you join the LGA, your defense chief go vet you. And if they see them, say you actually be for the struggle, they go incorporate you into their fighting corps. Same. Now the same for any other person where it feels say we don't leave this interim government, it feels say one use groups or some other means for come back, overtake the interim government. It not go work. At this particular point, all of them, each and everybody where they don't come out from this interim government, they know the door, they know how they become in. You know go pass through back door, then you sit in for come back. It not go happen. Come back through your LGA. Now the reason that when we talk about the chattering where they go out there, because anything short of you joining your LGA didn't make any sense to us. The NSC want equally come at this moment for inform Ambazonians and say some of this noise where these people them they make them out there this time around. It gets so much for do with the fact say after this noise makers don't take money from La Republique du Cameroon, promise for deliver. So La Republique du Cameroon they tie the rope around the necks and say make the deliver. It don't always be La Republique du Cameroon in modus operandi say during a United Nations General Assembly meeting. They go kill civilians, like the one that they be killing for school for Kumba, for Ikondo Titi. They go commit the atrocities, then turn around to point a finger at us. We don't create a lot of awareness, and they no fit turn around for use that same narrative again. France don't tell them, say they use different tactics this time around, so that they go free use that one for lobby other countries. For give them a bit more time. Make they continue for kill with innocent civilians. They be want to make it be like say this time around that they actually fight the Amba fighters. So that the reason that when La Republique will reach out to some of their proxies, some of them abroad and some of them in Kondengi from the intelligence who will get them. Say make these particular fighters they take certain decisions and way we population no go like them. So that in so doing, the La Republique, the terrorist La Republique military go step in, take out these fighters, make it be like say they stand good with population. But wait, that will not be the case. When I see some of the corpses where they be displaying for Kumba. Another La Republique sponsored group to their proxies. They run around the ransack empty brigades or La Republique brigades them as they call them. Say that they attacks or say that they carry out missions. A lot of these particular proxies them, they will sell a lot of the positions for this particular contracted fighters them. Intelligence reach out for the ANSC say the so-called Caputan will get a call with RK a week before RK be killed. For that call, RK will reveal them for you say he don't relocate. So how La Republique come about, the terrorism come about for locate RK position, that one be between the dead man and the person who is still there alive. The NSC won't tell all genuine fighters when they there for home front say, La Republique and the proxies and the chameleons. They go use all sort of names because the other day they be there with the ground with the unity warriors. Later on they can't change the name. They continuously change those names them for entice una make una come can join them. Tell una say make una take over command. All this one way they tell una not be true because if una one look even at the videos where some of these groups that they make them, if una look at the graphics now who engineer those graphics, they probably be engineered abroad by somebody where they listen to. So make una shun all these particular people them, all these people that they come for can't tell una say, make una turn around, do something where be contrary to where the doctrine for this revolution be all about. They go talk so, and then work closely with the terrorist military for La Republique du Cameroon for eliminate una. Una only be safe under una interim government, make a repeat for here. The NSC want tell with fighters, with ARF, and with civil population for home front. Say La Republique, they call us terrorists. But make we really look at now who be the terrorists here. We become together like two states equal in status. Make I repeat, two states equal in status. We not get any treaty of union. Make I remind all Ambazonians again, we don't get a treaty of union. And today, therefore can kill with people. They kill with every day, display them for streets, even against international laws. Now, who is here? The La Republique military. Make it be absolutely clear. Ambazonians with the fight now for rights, with the fight for the restoration for statehood. The terrorists that the people the way they come, they never challenge you for any court of law. We be ready. We be ready. Say make the Kanka prove that one for any court of law. So look at the right for fight for which we fight for right now. We be ready anytime for take on La Republique. We know be maquisas when La Republique will kill them, hang their heads them for sticks for the 60s. Wait what we fight for. We the fight for which we genuinely be we own. And we not go back down for no 1 second. They pass for food for territories, the ARF, they get every right for take them out. They get every right to take them out. I repeat, at this particular point, when you tell with civilians, say, make them not stand out for the La Republique military whenever they can display the corpse of their own brothers. When they do so, make them shun them because that terrorist acts and that with that military from La Republique, the terrorist terrorist military from La République du Cameroon, they do am. The terrorists from La République du Cameroon, they no go can kill Ambazonians, and then we come out come to take pictures. When they do am, make nobody no come to the streets. Make nobody no come. Make una leave them because they the one try for play on with psychology. Why not them be the real terrorists them? They no fit challenge us anywhere. They no fit. When I hear this from the ANC under una interim government, we be ready for that at any time. Make La Republic stand tell una we say if it make us challenge us for tell us what you do may not be right. They know that the reason that way that they use the arms, that the reason that they use the arms for try for something, but it not go happen. It not go happen. We go fight them. We go fight them until we get them out of we territory. And each and every Ambazonian now a stakeholder inside this fight. Because when the terrorists from La République du Cameroon, they the one can kill. They need to spare money. They need to spare picking. They need to spare pa. They need to spare uncle. They need to spare auntie. They need to kill everybody. So each and every Ambazonian a stakeholder. They do want a whole backdoor meetings for Yaoundé, for eliminate we own people for Yaoundé, or for push them out. So we did tell each and every Ambazonian, wanna be armed, wanna be prepared. Whether the Magiwe jam for them, for their military, for their terrorist military, when they chop die, that one be appreciated. Now a collective fight, all of us go fight until we kick these people out. Not them be the terrorists, not them they bring terror for inside with particular communities. And they want use that one each time when they can display cops for play on with psychology, it no go work. This one, that the spokesman for the ANC, signing out today, the 26th of September 2023. Short live the revolution, long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
Thank you plenty, Master Spokesman. We don't hear you, and you don't broke an all for we. Okay, all country people. Now all this we get down for today. My order finish, but I go give chance for we come be whether we broke the story for we for the kind of style and have a big grammar. Una stay fine and I don't go me.
See that you can if I know that can.
Stylish, cool, A-list.
See that you can if I know that can. Oh, one day, and you will see that you can if I know that can. Oh, one day, and you will see that you can if I know that can. If only you knew how great you are. Every time you try so hard to be maybe a great pillar of your country or to be a change maker of the world, then I don't think you'll ever run away. Even when your world has broken down, you should always turn and face your fears. For what doesn't kill you makes you strong. Just keep interested in whatever you do. Listen to your heart and believe like a fool. For however humble, it is a real possession in the changing fortune of time. Oh my brother, one day you would understand what used to be misunderstood, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh my sister, one day you would understand what used to be misunderstood, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can.
Stylish. Cool.
See that you can if another can.
Stylish. Cool. A-list.
See that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. If only you knew how great you are. Every try so hard to be, maybe a great pillar of your country, or to be a change maker of the world. Then I don't think you'll ever run away. Even when your world has broken down, you should always turn and face your fears. For what doesn't kill you makes you strong. Just keep interested in whatever you do. Listen to your heart and believe like a fool. For however humble, it is a real possession in the changing fortune of time. Oh my brother, one day you would understand what used to be misunderstood, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh my sister, one day you would understand what used to be misunderstood, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can. Oh, one day, and you would see that you can if another can.
Stylish.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Undaunted. I am Oyin Opala. Let's begin. All right, let's take the prime headlines. Let's start with the fact that today, down was observed and Ambazonians did that dutifully, most of them engaged in sporting activities. Workers of the Colonial Victoria Council resumes work after a mere promise. Remember, we told you that Victoria Council workers vowed to strike over 3 months non-payment of salary. Well, they've resumed work. Also, tonight's report from Bakassi Peninsula is on the high because some suspected suicide bomber kills La Republic du Cameroon security occupiers. Tonight, sadly, a man commits suicide after discovering the wife's love affair with his friend. And of course, the defeat of Abagua boys in foreign land is on the increase. And so some Ambazonians are thinking that it is time for Amber League. What do you think? Well, news across the globe. We have Russian Reserve Army of 15,000 soldiers pinned down near Bakhmut. We also have that France will end its military presence in Niger by the end of 2023. Now, that's what Emmanuel Macron said. And of course, Niger into fumes as UN block its participation at the UN General Assembly. All right, now let's get the news in detail. Now, the people of Ambazonia have seen monthly ghost towns as a way to frustrate all colonial activities. Now, to achieve this, the people of Ambazonia have chosen to occupy themselves this very day with sporting activities. While Ambazonians are enjoying themselves in sports on Mondays, the Colonial Republic of Cameroon government agents are gnashing their teeth as their source of income are grounded. While because there are no Ambazonians on the streets to fill their extortion coffers. Now, the people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia have decided to further frustrate the Colonial Republic of Cameroon's government agents in Ambazonia through Monday ghost towns, a chore by Undaunted today in the Ambazonian area, especially in Bamenda, had these taken down findings that Mondays are doing more good to Ambazonians than imagined. Ambazonians have seen Mondays as an opportunity to better their health, though not ignoring the reason why the interim government instituted the Monday lockdown. Ambazonians have chosen to give themselves the sharpness and agility they desire through Monday lockdowns. Undaunted today, Monday, September 25th, saw how engaging sport was in the Bamenda area of Ambazonia through the population. A look at me before engaging in this Monday sport. I couldn't go through this field, but today I can go around as many times as possible. My husband has testified that I'm more cuter now. He is the one waking me up in the morning for Monday lockdown. Now, this is what a lady testified because she's enjoying the Monday lockdown. Now, this enjoyment with which the people of Ambazonia holds for Monday goes down as it is at the detriment of La Republique du Cameroon, as all their sources of income has dried up. And moving on, Undaunted reported how the Kumba City Council workers descended on the streets of Kumba on Wednesday with peace plants and placards and proceeded to lock down the council building, demanding their unpaid wages. In the placards posted on the city council's gate, the protesters said their children could not go to school and they were about to lose their homes because they had no money to. The colonial La Republic du Cameroon government is using the present existing La Republic du Cameroon government run institutions in Ambazonia to inflict more pain on the people of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And so La Republic du Cameroon, the colonial La Republic du Cameroon government, I beg your pardon, agencies in Ambazonia can only attempt to do what is right after being pressured. The Colonial Victoria Council had accumulated unpaid worker salary. It is only through last week's sit at home strike action that the Colonial Council shamefully coughed out 3 months' salary to pay to these workers. Where is this money coming from? Does it mean that you had the money but intentionally decided to punish the workers? Well, the Colonial Victoria Council authorities have promised to pay protesting workers 3 months of salary arrears after workers stormed the streets last Wednesday to protest against 9 months of unpaid salaries. To address the workers' strike, the Colonial City Mayor, Gregory Miwanu, called for an urgent meeting where the aim was to address the strike action. The council adopted a resolution on Thursday, September 21, during the crisis meeting presided over by Chamberlain Ntuondong, the Colonial Senior Divisional Officer of Memeng County. At the crisis meeting, the in-house municipal treasurer, Ifang Job, said that the 9-month salary debt in question was inherited from the former colonial administration of the council. The Colonial City Council also announced that it would be able to pay workers for just 3 months for now, a decision that did not resonate with some of the disgruntled workers. Speaking during the meeting, the spokesperson for the workers said in his words, he says, if you send 3 months to the bank, it is still going to be difficult for us to meet up because we will be deducted from the 4 months loads and overdraft from the 3 month salary. The workers have resumed work, hoping that their dues will be paid in the days ahead. Moving on, Ndop local government areas failed from promises. Ndop local government area in Ngokentuche County, with a failed La Republic du Cameroon system, has constructed roads and bridges only in the mind and in the stomach for over 62 years. Today, the failed Yaoundé junta is fooling the world and blinded donors about reconstructing war-torn southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Which miracle or magic wand will they use? Since 2019, how far has the failed genocidal La Republic du Cameroon itself on life support gone to do with what they did not do for over 60 years? How is it possible that they will do that? Who is fooling who? Well, we'll take this short break and we'll be back. All right, you're welcome back. Moving on, Bakassi Peninsula, boys a suspected suicide bomber kills 7 colonial Republic to Cameroon occupier bees. Well, the Biafran wing denies involvement, and the Ambazonian restoration forces might have targeted the bees for trespassing. Reports reaching ABC Amber TV Undaunted News has confirmed that 7 elements of the Colonial Republic de Cameroon Rapid Intervention Battalion, abbreviated in French as B, have been reportedly killed by explosion in Abana, the former headquarters of Bakassi local government area of Cross River State, Nigeria, and that the Biafran wing denies involvement. Now, the explosion, which unconfirmed reports said is from a suspected suicide bomb mission, occurred barely 3 weeks after the La Republic de Cameroon Rapid Intervention Battalion had sacked the PRO of the militant Biafra wing. Now, the alleged suicide bomber militant was said to have walked to the checkpoint in Abana when the bomb exploded on Friday night. Eyewitnesses said 2 gunboats were heavily damaged and 2 soldiers lost their parts. It should be recalled that 3 weeks ago, the Colonial Law Republic of Cameroon Genocidal Rapid Intervention had, in a turns gun battle that lasted for days, sacked the PRO of the Biafra wing called the Black Marines in Abana, said to be working for the Biafra nation. However, a leader of the Biafra Republic in exile had reportedly posted on his Twitter handle that Black Marine was not dislodged, refuting media reports. Commenting on this latest attack, leader of the BNL said on Sunday that we do not know those that carried out the act. We don't know who the Black Mariner is unless they have changed their strategy. While he goes on to say it might be another set of freedom fighters so that they have targeted their enemies. Now, daylight reporters had reported that the Black Mariners were reportedly planning to take over the areas, but instead took the bees. Worthy to note here is that Colonial Law Republic of Cameroon bees presence in the Bakassi Peninsula is illegal. Since La Republic of Cameroon doesn't have any maritime boundary with neighboring Nigeria, but with the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. And this we have discussed over and over here on Undaunted. Usually we would have the very learned barrister Mbesi here to diagnose this particular topic. Now that the people of Biafra have not claimed responsibility for the attack, well, it is likely that the ARFs are the ones fighting for that particular spot because it belongs to the southern Cameroon's Amazonia. And it's also for the total independence of the southern Cameroon's Amazonia in Indian County and might have targeted these for trespassing. Well, on this particular report, a man commits suicide after discovering the wife's love affair with his friend. A 30-year-old teacher based in Victoria, Atlantic Zone of Ambazonia is reported to have committed suicide on Thursday, September 21, after discovering that his newly wedded wife was cheating on him with his best friend. The man, identified as Ngom Elvis, was found dead in his house, and findings reveals that he drank a poisonous substance to take his own life. One of Elvis' paternal aunts said he sent a voice note to her that morning before his own life. And the voice note, Elvis reportedly said his death would be on the heads of his wife and his best friend, who were having a love romantic affair. He said, if I die, my blood would be on my wife's head and that of my best friend, with whom she has a love affair. The deceased quoted this in the message he left behind. Elvis' body was taken to the Victoria Regional Hospital mortuary as the Colonial Police continued investigation and investigating the tragic happening. The incident comes barely 2 weeks after World Suicide Prevention Day was observed on the 10th of September under the theme Greeting Hope Through Action. It should be noted that the rate of suicide has been on the rise during the last decade. In a website article published in 2021, it was reported that suicide rate in the Cameroons has increased from 4.7% in 2012 to 12.2% in 2019, and that more men were taking their lives than women. Of course, you could know part of this could also be because of the ongoing war where men are forced to hiding. Well, the World Health Organization (WHO) says suicide is the fourth leading cause of death among persons aged between 15 to 29 years, with 700,000 suicide deaths recorded globally every year. And moving on, the Cup final of neighboring La Republic de Cameroon took place on Sunday, September 24th, in the colonial capital Yaoundé, putting the Ambazonian side, the PWD of Bamenda, to the French Cameroon side, the FOVU of Baham. At the end of the encounter, the French Cameroon side of Baham humbled the visiting side of PWD of Bamenda to a humiliating 2 goals to 0. This humiliation playing with the enemy calls for concern that the southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians must sit up and rethink on their strategy. Let's go down history lane. Before the war in 2017, the Abagua boys were denied victory in 1979, playing the cup final, then with the Dynamo Club of Douala. At that time, the foundation of the republic was not shaken as today. So the annexationists did not have anything at stake as losing their breadbasket or life wire, Ambazonia. Well, it is worthy to note that since the Ambazonian War of Independence broke out in 2017, La République de Cameroon has been using sports, especially football, to tell the world that all was well, even when clubs in the restive Ambazonia did most of their practice and playing their games in neighboring La République de Cameroon. Most often than not, La République de Cameroon politicized football, making sure through manipulations that a team from the Ambazonian side, like Young Sports Academy, PWD, or Bui United Southern Zone, like Victoria United alias One People, One Power, or Njala Kwan Sports Academy, featured at the Cup final in Yaoundé. This has been their strategy to enhance their living together, or should we say, since many people love sports, they try to use that as a strategy. As such, they always employ their tricks or districts to keep Amazonian football fanatics in bondage. Such tactics yielded fruit in favor of the colonizer when they gave the cup once to Bui United and 2 years ago to the Abakwa boys. It is high time Ambazonians sit up, rethink their strategy, support the Sako-led interim government. This never again generation to break the yoke of over 60 years in bondage. Get to Boyer and start the Ambazonian Soccer League as a free people, Ambazonians must take the bull by the horns and support the struggle more than ever before by redoubling the draft in this year of acceleration. All right, you're welcome back. Now, this week is going to be an interesting one for Ambazonians. I mean, 1st of October is around the corner and celebration is on the top gear. Ambazonians worldwide are putting together massive celebrations. So, wherever you are, whatever part of the world you are in, if you check around, you must find a celebration near you. 1st of October is a day that Ambazonians are looking up to. Of course, it's a day of independence and everyone is getting ready. Do you have your Amba wrapper yet? Of course, you know that that is also going to play a pivotal role in the celebration as it will be used globally in all Ambazonian celebration points. And so get ready for 1st of October. I'm sure you will. Then here is also an invitation to the International Press Conference. Yes, Dr. Samuel Ikomesako, who is the president interim government to the Ambazonians, is inviting you to a press conference. Of course, the press conference will take place on Thursday, September 28th, 2023, and it is 4 p.m. South African time, 3 p.m. West African time, 10 a.m. GMT. All right, so please get ready for this international press conference. You know, this is what he does on a regular basis to tell the whole world exactly what Ambazonians are going through. This is signed by Tapari King, State House Media, and of course, ABC Undaunted News Director. Coming up next is news across the globe. News across the globe. A Russian reserve army of 15,000 soldiers has been pinned down near Bakhmut. Russia has deployed a new military formation of about 15,000 soldiers to fight around Bakhmut. Ukraine spy chief Kleglo Budanov said the 25th Army was deployed earlier than planned. Budanov said Ukraine is pinning down Putin's forces near Bakhmut to prevent redeployment to the south. Ukraine is pinning down a newly created Russian reserve force near Bakhmut and is confident the 15,000 strong unit will be destroyed. Now, this is what the Ukraine spy chief said. France will end its military presence in Niger by the end of 2023 is another interesting report here. This is what Emmanuel Macron even said. Well, the report says that France will end its military presence in Niger by the end of 2023. French President Emmanuel Macron said this on Sunday, marking the latest and major development amid high tension between the two countries since a military junta seized control of Niger in July. In his words, it says, we are putting an end to our military cooperation with the de facto authorities of Niger because they don't want to fight terrorism anymore, Macron said regarding the military leaders who took over the rule of the Northwest African country. Another interesting headline says Niger junta fumes as UN blocks its participation at the UN General Assembly. The military government in Niger Republic yesterday accused the United Nations Secretary Antonio Guterres of preventing its full participation at the UN annual meeting of the world leaders. Naime claimed the UN chief's action was aimed at appeasing France, Niger's former colonizers, and his allies. Spokesman for the junta, Colonel Major Amadou Abderrahmane, said the decision to deny his country's envoy Bakrayu Sangare the opportunity of addressing the UN General Assembly in New York could undermine any effort to end the crisis in our country. And to the main report of tonight. Now, there is just one more day to go after a break from the UN General Assembly briefing. But first, let's give you the highlights of what you may have missed. Now, it's almost the end of the UN General Assembly, high level meeting that brings world leaders together at the UN headquarters in New York. Here are the highlights of what happened on Saturday at the United Nations and what to keep an eye on. Tuesday, which is the last day. Now, what happened? Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, made no mention of his country's war in Ukraine from the dais, but was naturally asked about it in a subsequent press briefing. He had harsh words for the United States and the West in both places. Now, let's hear.
США и подчиненный им западный коллектив продолжают плодить конфликты, искусственно разделяющие человечество на враждебные блоки и препятствующие достижению общих целей. Они делают все, дабы предотвратить формирование подлинно многополярного, справедливого миропорядка. Стремятся заставить мир играть по своим печально известным узкокорыстным правилам. При этом советскому, а затем...
Also, Armenia and Azerbaijan both spoke at the general debate. Both critiqued the international community's response to the situation in Nagorno-Karabakh, albeit for different reasons. Neither, interestingly, made use of the right of reply after speeches concluded Saturday night. Only Iran and the United Arab Emirates did. Now, let's hear that too.
I will not be the first and definitely not the last speaker in this august body who will identify global threats for democracies, challenges for security, violations of the principles and purposes of the UN Charter, including non-use of force and peaceful resolution of conflicts as a main source of instability and tension in the world. The devastating developments of the past years, which disrupted the security architecture in the world and especially in Europe, have significantly damaged multilateralism. If a couple of years ago we were contemplating the decline of multilateralism, today we see erosion of that very tenet and its foundations, such as international law, human rights, and cooperative security. This is not just a theoretical interference, but the reality with which the Armenian people in the South Caucasus are coping for the last 3 years. The repetitive aggression of Azerbaijan against the territory of the Republic of Armenia and military attacks against the people of Nagorno-Karabakh significantly disrupts peace and stability in our region, massively violates human rights and humanitarian law, representing existential threat for Armenians. My government, having a sincere belief and aspiration to establish peace and stability in our region, has made significant and duly recorded efforts to this end. Alas, we do not have a partner for peace, but a country who openly declares that might has right and constantly uses force to disrupt the peace process. Literally a year ago, from this very stage, the Prime Minister of Armenia presented the fact of aggression and occupation of the Republic of Armenia's sovereign territories by neighboring Azerbaijan. Since then, the situation has deteriorated even more, and today I have to present yet another very recent act of large-scale offensive, this time against the indigenous people of Nagorno-Karabakh, in blatant violation of the international law and trilateral statement of November 9, 2020. It happened this week, and the timing was not accidental. It shows open disregard and defiance of Azerbaijan against the international community who gathered here in New York. The message is clear. You all can talk about peace, and we can go to war, and you will not be able to change anything.
Oh, well, we hope that we changed something. That was Armenia's spokesperson. Now, let's get to hear what Azerbaijan said.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world continues to face a multitude of challenges that transcend boundaries. From exacerbating climate change trends to rooted poverty, rising tensions, and ravaging pandemics, these challenges plague us all, regardless of our background or location, and require bold and concerted actions. The current state of international politics is becoming increasingly fragmented, leading to division and erosion of multilateralism. The growing trend of intolerance and discrimination, in particular Islamophobia, and alarming surge in hate speech are disturbing. To curb this challenge, with centuries-long tradition of diversity and multiculturalism, Azerbaijan firmly believes in fostering dialogue, mutual understanding, and respect among different cultures and religions. The government of Azerbaijan has consistently promoted intercultural and interfaith dialogue through significant global initiatives such as the Baku Process and Peace for Culture. Amidst the growing challenges, it is paramount that the United Nations continue to galvanize international solidarity and cooperation. The UN has a mandate to ensure that every nation has an equal voice and is treated on the same footing. The UN Charter principles and purposes are binding worldwide and must be applied consistently, not selectively. Azerbaijan advocates for a reinvigorated and reformed multilateral system with the UN as at its core, underpinned by strict adherence to and non-selective application of the norms and principles of international law.
Well, that was Abidjan. Now, as Venezuela's foreign minister spoke at the United Nations, the Associated Press visited the hotel just blocks away, which almost became like a center for asylum seekers from his country, was a major question that was asked. Now, let's hear what he said.
Painful as it is to acknowledge, this statement remains relevant. The United Nations has not fulfilled its foundational purpose, and we now face even more serious challenges. The United Nations has not managed to overcome the unilateralism of countries that, by reproducing colonial and imperial logics, seek to assert themselves above the principles enshrined in this organization's founding charter. The solution to the new and complex challenges facing humanity today cannot be achieved without consolidating inclusive multilateralism, the democratization of international relations, and a true multipolar system. Today, we see how many agencies, programs, and funds of the United Nations system fail to fulfill their mandates and end up being instrumentalized by the interests of the United States of America and its allies. We must reform the organization to make it a democratic institution where all members have a voice and participate in decision-making on equal terms. It is essential to return to the practice of consensus, including within this General Assembly, which presupposes ending the zero-sum mentality and instead promoting a win-win vision that allows us to effectively address collective interests through cooperation, tolerance, and understanding. It is equally necessary to advance with the reform of the Security Council, to correct historical imbalances and provide greater representation to our Mother Africa in that important body. The United Nations cannot continue to operate as it is. How many more resolutions must this General Assembly adopt to put an end once and for all to the criminal blockade against our sister Cuba? How many more resolutions must this General Assembly or the Security Council itself, whose decisions are legally binding, approve for the rights of Palestine to be truly respected as a free and independent state? We wonder how many more summits will be necessary to confirm the non-compliance with commitments made, particularly in the field of development. How much more time must pass for us to realize that under the current system, it is impossible to achieve the goals we have set for ourselves? Since the year 2000, when we agreed on the now extinct Millennium Development Goals, no less than 30 summits convened by the United Nations have taken place. It is crucial to move forward without further delay regarding the reform of the international financial architecture, including the governance and decision-making methods of the Bretton Woods institutions, which serve the interests of a minority of wealthy countries, and they also to exert pressure and domination over sovereign nations.
Well, you can ask same question. How many more summits would need to be organized before the world gets to hear about Ambazonia? How many more summits? Meanwhile, what to expect at the UN General Assembly as the days come to an end? Well, we have still key speeches and we have representatives from India, Syria, North Korea, Canada, and Morocco. Well, by tomorrow, we'll bring you up to speed with all of these happenings. Now, let's meet Gab Ellison in the sports studio for the sports news.
Latest world sports. Rugby Union. Rock bottom. Australia faces exit after Rugby World Cup defeat to Wales. Australia has been left in shock after their rugby team suffered their worst ever defeat in a World Cup match and look set to leave the tournament at the pool stage for the first time. The Wallabies, twice world champions, lost 46 in what was also Australia's worst ever loss to Wales. The team, who have already lost to Fiji, have one group match left against Portugal. They will need to win that match and hope other scores go their way to stand any chance of advancing to the knockouts. Rock bottom, Wallabies' worst nightmare comes true, was the verdict of newspaper The Australian and the Daily Telegraph. The latest loss ramps up the pressure on Australia head coach Eddie Jones with 7 defeats in 8 games since he took charge in January. Jones told Stan Sport that everyone was gutted at the result. Whether we've hit rock bottom, I don't know, but I've got to take responsibility for it, he said. Some media reports have claimed the veteran coach has been interviewed by the Japan Rugby Union about coaching their team after the tournament, despite having a contract with the Australian team until 2027. Jones has also been heavily criticized for bringing an inexperienced squad to the World Cup. The Eddie Jones experiment can officially be declared a disaster after the Wallabies all but crashed out of the World Cup in record-breaking fashion, rugby reporter Tom Decent wrote in the Sydney Morning Herald. Several Wallaby stars expressed their dismay at the result. Shattered for at Wallabies, but congrats to my Valley friends, wrote former Australia fly half Matt Gitu on social media outlet X, formerly Twitter. Former New Zealand international and Stan Sport pundit Sonny Bill Williams said he felt for the players and traveling Australian supporters who left the stadium early in their droves. That second half, they looked like a team that just lost belief, said Williams, a double World Cup winner with the All Blacks. 46 was really embarrassing, and I feel for these kids. They're going to carry this on for the rest of their careers and feel this until they get to come back here again and rectify it. American football. NFL Week 3 review and results. Dolphins set records. Taylor Swift cheers on Chiefs and Dallas defeated. The Miami Dolphins scored the second highest number of points in the game in NFL history as they trounced the Denver Broncos 70-20. Elsewhere, the Kansas City Chiefs trashed the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys suffered a big upset loss in Arizona. The Green Bay Packers came from 17-0 down to beat the New Orleans Saints, and the Los Angeles Chargers won their first game of the season in a thriller against the Minnesota Vikings. In another entertaining NFL day, Baltimore Ravens, Washington Commanders, and Atlanta Falcons all lost for the first time, and the New England Patriots extended their long winning streak against the New York Jets. No doubt about the performance of the night, as the Miami Dolphins showed why they're the most electrifying team in the NFL. They scored 10 touchdowns to set a new team points record and hammered Denver to go to 3-0 for the season. They are the only team ever to score 5 rushing and 5 passing touchdowns in a game, just the 4th side to reach the 70-point mark and the first since 1966. Mike McDaniel's side had a chance to break the record score of 72 points set in 1966 by Washington, but turned down a late field goal try in favor of taking a knee to end the game. It felt like chasing points and chasing a record. That's not what we came to the game to do, McDaniel explained. That doesn't have a bearing on the overall season outcome, Raheem Mostert and rookie Devon Achane Both scored 4 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill had 157 yards receiving and a score, and quarterback Tua Tagovailoa impressed again with 4 touchdown throws. One no-look shovel pass that will make Patrick Mahomes' highlight reel. Miami's array of attacking talent will be put to the test more next week as they face the Buffalo Bills, who dominated the previously unbeaten Washington Commanders 37-3. One famous fan grabbed more headlines than some games did in the NFL on Sunday as superstar singer Taylor Swift appeared at Arrowhead Stadium to cheer on Chiefs star Travis Kelce after weeks of rumors about the two being in a relationship. Swift, who sat with Kelce's mother and was filmed living with the Chiefs' tight end, picked a good game to watch as quarterback Mahomes threw 3 touchdowns, one to Kelce as they dominated the Chicago Bears 41-10. Mahomes also achieved another landmark by becoming the fastest quarterback to get to 25,000 passing yards, doing so in just 83 games. The Bears have now lost 12 games in a row, allowing at least 25 points in each. And next up face fellow 0-3 side Denver, with the two teams losing by a combined 81 points on Sunday. At least they can't both lose next week. One team who surprisingly avoided dropping to 0-3 are the Arizona Cardinals, who upset the much-hyped Dallas Cowboys 28-16 to give journeyman quarterback Judge Dobbs his first win in his 7th season in the league. Winter sports. Kamila Valieva, Russian figure skater's doping case to be heard by CAS. Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva's doping case will be heard by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS, on Tuesday. Details of a failed drugs test emerged after she won team gold at the 2022 Winter Olympics. The Russian anti-doping agency RUSADA found in January that Valieva, now 17, bore no fault of negligence for the positive test. But the World Anti-Doping Agency is appealing against RUSADA's findings. WADA, along with the International Skating Union, ISU, says RUSADA's decision was wrong under the terms of the World Anti-Doping Code and is seeking a 4-year ban. Valieva, then 15, failed a drugs test in December 2021 when she tested positive for banned heart medication, trimtazidine. Details of the result only surfaced after she had won gold in a team event at the Beijing Games, during which she became the first to land a quadruple jump at the Winter Olympics. She was allowed to compete in the women's singles event when a court lifted her provisional ban, but left the arena in tears after a number of falls and stumbles meant she dropped from 1st to 4th place. WADA said earlier this year it was concerned by the decision to clear Valieva's expansion of all her results from the date of the sample collection on 25th December 2021. CAS says it is unsure when the results of the hearing will be released. It will take place in Lausanne, with Valieva and some of the experts and witnesses set to be heard by video conference. Valieva returned to competition after USADA cleared her, taking 2nd place in the Russian Championships at the end of 2022. But the case has also raised questions about how the 15-year athlete was treated and prompted the Skating Federation to raise the lower age limit for its senior category from 15 to 17 from 2024, citing the physical, mental, and emotional health of competitors. During the Games, the International Olympic Committee decided no medals for the team event would be handed out until Valieva's case was resolved. The Russians scored highest, with the United States 2nd, Japan 3rd, and Canada 4th. Gab Ellison reporting for Undaunted, ABC Amba News.
All right, thank you so much, Gab Ellison, for that sports report. And with that sports report, we've come to the end of Undaunted here. But before we go, let's give you the highlights of the reports. Well, tonight on Undaunted, we told you that Ambazonians are poised to ask the La Republic de Cameroon, and they've done this via the Monday lockdown. Workers of the Colonial Victoria Council resumes work today after a mere promise. Also tonight, we told you that Bakassi Peninsula has been boiling, but it seems like the ARFs are already in charge. Tonight, we also told you that a man committed suicide after discovering the wife had a love affair with his best friend. The defeat of Abaka boys in foreign land could mean that Ambazonians should start an Amba League. And on the horizon, we told you that a Russian reserve army of 15,000 soldiers has been pinned down near Bakhmut. And Niger junta fumes as UN blocks its participation at the UN General Assembly. And that was it for tonight on Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. On behalf of all of the team members here on Undaunted News Crew, I say thank you for tuning in. Good night.